Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Profit Team Consulting Rob Rainwater live Facebook session. Three in a week. So this is like, I don't know if it's just information overload from Rob Rainwater, but Kristi and I, and welcome Kristi Werner from
Thank you.
URG. It's a pleasure to have Kristi. I've known Kristi for a lot of years, going back quite a long time, and I've been kind of pushing her over the last 12 months to like, Kristi, you need to do this. You need to get on here. This is a great way to get out and have people kind of, see what's going on and talk about yourself. So, or about what you're doing, that kind of thing. But, it's also kind of nice, Kristi, to know your background a little bit, right? People know you or know of you, or maybe have emailed, spoke to you on the phone, that kind of stuff, but they don't really get to know the person a little bit. So, I guess I'd kind of want to start with, a little bit about, where you're from, that kind of thing. Like, who is Kristi? If that's, without
Well,
getting too personal.
no problem. I actually grew up in a small town in Minnesota. I grew up in a big family, 5 brothers, 2 sisters. When I graduated high school, I went to St. Cloud State University, where I got my bachelor's. And then, right when I graduated college, I knew I wanted to go somewhere else. So I moved to Colorado, where my sister lived. And I ended up getting a position at Actual Systems of America, now CCC Pinnacle, as a software trainer. And I did software training for them on their Pinnacle Classic version, traveled throughout the whole US, did quite a bit on the road. And at that point, Pinnacle Pro was coming out. And so they kind of moved me to more of a project management role while still doing training. And I did that and I really liked it. And so I decided while I was on the road, I would do some online learning. And on the road, I got my master's with an emphasis in project management. And then did that for a little bit with Pinnacle, and then moved to a sales role where you helped mentor me with that for sure. And after 6.5 years, I decided I wanted something else. So URG offered me a position with them. And I started out as a project coordinator with them, and then moved to my latest role, which is Director of Business Development. And I have been with URG for 10 years now.
Wow.
Kind of dating myself here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I was gonna go with, what year was that when you started with Actual Systems? I haven't heard the word Actual Systems in a while, but
Oh, gosh,
it
yeah.
would it would throw it back. So, and again, that's probably, I would say, way back whenever that was, when I first met you. Again, I was traveling that circuits, going to those shows, speaking at those shows, and was kind of involved somewhat, back when, you guys, Pinnacle Pro, and you guys are working on the work order manager. And I know you and Don had come in and worked with me when I was at Jerry Brown's, and we kind of helped you develop some of that stuff. And, we
Absolutely.
need to work like that kind of thing. So there's been that relationship for a while there. So, and again, I've used a lot of the products when I was still in the recycling thing. You and I still communicate quite a bit, through, the consulting now. And, we're getting ready, your conference is coming up, which is always kind of the big show of the year for everyone. And, it's in a crappy place called New Orleans this year, which no one's going to want to go to.
Right.
So, that's coming up, and Profit Team Consulting is going to be there. I think we're like 6, 7, 8, 9 sessions. So it's kind of great that I'm going to be doing a little moderating for a few sessions, but Mike Lee and I all have some sessions there. So if that kind of thing, maybe you want to quick update us on how that's looking at, for
Yeah, absolutely. So we're excited to announce that they released the vaccine mandate and negative COVID test. So we ended up extending our registration, our early bird registration, to March 31st. We knew that from talking to a lot of recyclers, they were waiting to see if that ban would get lifted after Mardi Gras, and it was. So we're pretty excited about that. We've got 45 training sessions that, you're doing a few of them as well. I'm really excited about those. I think we've got a lot of great speakers. We've got 2 really good keynote speakers. And Friday night, we do our live auction, and it's going to be at the World War II Museum. And we're going to do that along with NABC is going to be giving a car to a few veterans in need. So I'm pretty excited to watch that. That's always a great thing that they do for people in need, and always a tear jerker for sure. So
Yeah, I think the last one there with the young lady that got it was, and you see what a difference that stuff makes in someone's life. And, I know PRP is doing some work like that, and you guys have been doing it for a long time. So it's great to see this whole recycling community give back,
yeah,
and
and
to
it's
be a
nice
part of
because you
that.
see insurance and the shops and aftermarket parts, recycled parts. Everyone just comes together to help out the people in need, which is really cool to see. So
Yep. So, so you've been there 10 years now. Like, gosh, it does seem like a long time. So tell me about like some of the things you've gotten accomplished in those 10 years. Like, so I want to talk about some of the things you've already done and make sure people are aware of those things and those programs. And then we'll get to some of the future stuff.
yeah, so when I started out at URG, one of the main focuses that they wanted me to put my attention on is building software programs not only for Pinnacle Pro, we wanted to build it for all recyclers out there. So Pinnacle Pro, Checkmate, PowerLink, Crush. So my initiative was any program that we'd build would be for everybody. So one of the first programs I worked on is the core program. And I worked with Pinnacle to be able to download core prices into the Pinnacle system. And then I worked very closely with Mike Lambert, with Buddy, to build a program to download the cores into PowerLink and Checkmate. And that was a very popular program. It was much needed for recyclers to be able to see at the time of a sale what
Well, and
a
it
core
it,
value.
it kind of it initiated, the recyclers charging course. I mean, honestly, once those prices were available, that's when everybody implemented and kind of started. That kind of really hit the core hole. No one talked about cores before,
Right,
right? They were an
absolutely.
afterthought, and all of a sudden it became a commodity. So it was a really kind of instrumental thing in that whole process.
Yeah, it was one of our most popular programs, and it really expanded from just downloading into the system to building reports. You have the pre-dismantle, the inventory core report that the yards can use, and then we even integrated with Inventory Buddy. So the program just expanded from there, and most of our membership is on it. It's been really successful. And then the other big initiative that our board wanted us to do is we knew that there was an issue of recyclers needing to take back control of their data. So when I started at URG, they had started a little bit of work on being able to grab data. It was my job to be able to get it off the ground and out there. So I worked closely with our programmers, and we were able to build adapters to pull data from Pinnacle. We have data pulled from PowerLink and Checkmate. And once we were able to get all that data, we built our URGNet Control Center, which allowed recyclers to not have to have a third-party company go directly on their server and have access to everything. They can now direct them to URG, and we can feed the data directly to that third-party company, just the data that they need. So that was a really big initiative. That
Well, and it
also
allows you to check up, right? It allows you to make sure that you're doing the right things. And it's nice to be able to have someone that you can call because as I went to different yards, I had to change things. And then you've got people in place to say, hey, help me make sure I'm allowing this one to see my data or not this one, or however I wanted it. And the tiering and moving my partners and not, and someone leaves, making sure it's up to date and right. And it's nice to have it all in one place.
Yeah, that's just it. I would get calls all the time. Okay, who do I need to have install this to go here and there? And now it's nice that we've got our adapter and we can do it for our recyclers. So
And there's nobody, you're letting a lot of people in your servers, right?
exactly.
So, so let it sit in yours and you protect it and you control it there. Right.
Yeah, and
So
we have
that's definitely a
contracts
big benefit
for sure.
to being a partner.
Yeah, and that ended up bringing the relationship with CCC. So we ended up being able to feed the data to CCC for all of our recyclers. And then from there, after we started working with CCC, we realized there was a need for tiering for our recyclers. So that's how the tier program came into effect. So recyclers now can have other yards data show as their own. They can set up their markups on our website, and then we feed those tables to CCC nightly. And that was a huge program for our members and allowed them to sell a lot more parts that they would normally do if they've got the phone call.
No.
And so, yeah, that's been very successful.
Yeah. And again, I know this isn't, you know, it's not like data is like the fun topic, right? This isn't Cahill doing a song and dance like he did. I
Right.
see he's already asking questions, right? But this is really, really important stuff, right? So we're talking about the data and control of your data and what you're doing with your data. And some of these programs and the core and these things, these are instrumental parts to running your business and being able to consolidate them. I'm not, I don't want to sound like I'm standing on the mountaintop here, but Profit Team Consulting is a database industry. Everything that we do in the organization and how we run and control profits is done through your data collection and what you do. So I just want to make sure that people that are watching this, saying, this is really, really important. And I think it kind of transitions, Kristi, into the new programs that you've got coming and how important some of those are, if you want to kind of dovetail into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the latest program that we released is our Mitchell One integration, which I'm really excited about. Mitchell One is a software that thousands of mechanical shops use throughout the US.
Well,
And
remember, most of us know Mitchell from the body end and
correct.
not realizing they have a whole different separate mechanical division.
Yeah, it's two actually separate companies. So a lot of yards get that confused, but this is just the mechanical side. And URG has been wanting to get in the mechanical side. Obviously, engines, transmissions are huge for our members. We just wanted to be able to integrate more to be able to facilitate the sales of all of those mechanical parts. And so we are excited because we're the first recycled catalog that has integrated with Mitch One. And when a shop is building an estimate, our catalog is right there. They just have to click on it. It brings over the VIN and the zip code of where the shop is and allows them to look up the parts, add it to their Mitchell system, and then electronically send the order to our member.
So I'm pretty good at dumbing things down. That's what Lee always says. I gotta go simple, right?
Right.
So a lot of these garages that hop on there to order rotors and pads and oil filters and spark plugs and Napa or Pep Boys or whoever they have locally in their software, now are going to have the accessibility to recycled parts. So if they're writing an estimate and they don't want, and there's not a new part or the new part so expensive, they're going to have the ability then to click and say, I want to look at recycled parts, click, have inquiry, also purchase warranties through that software, if I'm not mistaken, was correct.
Yep.
And actually create and purchase or quote and purchase the parts right through that software.
Yeah, and I can give a demonstration to everyone if.
Yep. We'll hop it on there quick. I don't know if that'll block this out, but go ahead.
So this is the Mitchell One software. I have a test system on my computer. And so up here is the customer that I'm working on, the vehicle and the VIN number. And so this is the estimate I'm building. And down here is a list of all of the different catalogs that a shop would have enabled. And right now I just have the auto parts search catalog enabled. So if I'm working on,
they had Napa or Pep Boys or whomever, it would all be right there for them.
Yep, all of them get listed on the bottom right here. And so if I wanted to add a recycled part for my client, I just have to click the auto part search catalog and it will pull up the search form. But before that, when a shop first registers, it'll actually take them to their seller page. And it allows them to build basically a profile. So based on the zip code of where they're at, it pulls up a list of the recyclers that have signed up for the program. They have to sign an agreement, and then they have the ability to select which recyclers that they want to purchase parts from. So that's why it's really important to sign those agreements, because we've been getting quite a few shops registering, and when they come in, if the recycler's been signed up, then they can select that yard to look up parts.
Okay. So I can pick and choose. So if I was in this program early enough and I was in the New York City area, I would be able then to say, I only want to see salvage yard X, Y, and Z, or just X, right? That's all I want to see is Rob's Auto Parts,
Yep,
right? And then I
absolutely.
can do that. And if I'm
And
not
we
mistaken, right, Rob's Auto Parts could tier 7 or 8 other salvage yards, so only I would show up. I'm not getting ahead of you, I think, but I just want to make sure that people know that so if I'm in early in my marketplace, I kind of have a heads up in that, correct?
Yes, absolutely. And we actually built flyers that a lot of the recyclers that have signed up are going out and initializing it, getting them to enable the catalog because they do see like the importance of being one of the first ones to get their yard selected and be visible to these shops.
Okay.
So then it goes to the recycle where we have our advanced search. And as you can see, it pulls over the VIN that the shop is working on and the zip code of where they're at. And we offered a few different ways to search for parts. You can manually type in a part here if you want, or you can come over here to these quick categories and quickly just select the part you want or multiple parts and then do the search. And then again, based off of my profile, it shows the results of the recyclers that I chose to see. It's prompting for the interchange, and then it takes you to the search results. So right now my profile is set up to demo Nordstrom's data. I've been working closely with them and shows the part images, the seller, and again, like you said, Rob, it shows their tier yards of anyone that they have set up as their own, mileage, the VIN, part information, and then some stuff that we added for Mitchell 1 is where you can import zip codes where you deliver to for free. So this happens to be one of the zip codes that they have. If it's outside of that zip code, then we have some freight tables that will.
So it allows you to integrate warranty, shipping, anything that you want in there and customizable. What about like part types? I don't want to sell alternators, but I want to sell engines. Can
Yep,
I pick and choose what I show?
absolutely. You can pick and choose from your own inventory, and you can pick and choose what brokering yards parts will show
Okay.
as well. So it can be pretty far defined.
Okay.
And
So,
then
and go ahead. I'm sorry.
then they just really have to add the part to the cart, confirm what they want, and then review it. And all they have to do is hit transfer. And then that transfers the part right into Mitchell.
And at the end, everyone, I'm going to put up Kristi's phone number and email. If anybody wants any kind of, you know, demo, whatever the case may be, a lot more detail, right? We don't want to sit here and go through 2 hours of the demo. I'll fall asleep. But anybody can get a private demo because I'm sure everyone's going to have a lot of different questions and a lot of different things to each person. But again, this is like the next phase, right? We've talked about some things, and this is the next thing. And I know everybody wants more mechanical customers, right? We're all
Right.
kind of sick of the body shop customers out there. And to be able to be able to almost have the same thing we have with the electronic data matching to our body parts. Now we can start getting them into the mechanical shop. And what else you got? What else is cooking?
Well, we recently announced our partnership with AER to help with Takata inflator recalls for Chrysler and Jeep. These are manufacturers that aren't part of the RAS airbag retrieval program. So you recyclers can log into URG sales support. They can view a new menu option called Chrysler Recalls, and it will show all the vehicles and parts that were flagged that would have that recall. And it's really easy. Recyclers just have to go in and upload 3 different pictures that AER is requesting, mark it as complete, and then they'll create the claim for the recycler. Once Chrysler approves it, then we pay $25 per vehicle that's been accepted.
And that's kind of in that same whole dashboard that you have with all the other stuff that you've built. All that stuff's all integrated into that dashboard. If you
Yes.
don't spend some time there with all the cores and all the things there, if you are a URG member, or if you're not a URG member and you're looking, again, that's why you're watching this, to see what programs are out there. call someone there. Kristi will set up the demo to show you, right? And I don't think everybody knows exactly everything they get being a URG member, right? And again, I think that's one of the reasons you wanted to get out here. But
Yeah,
again, now
absolutely.
you're at, and most of us are used to some of the recalls like that Raz were doing. Well, now we're opening up a whole nother division.
Yeah, and there's a potential to make quite a bit of money just by uploading some photos. So
yeah,
something to definitely take a look at for sure.
And what else we got?
So we recently launched a web services department. As you know, a couple of years ago, we purchased IIS, the search function, from Briscoe Web. And we ended up bringing all of that fixing and we hired a programmer to manage that in-house. And so we've been doing a lot of updates to that search function. And we decided that we needed to offer another opportunity for yards to have a different place to go to have a website built and hosted. So now URG offers that in-house. And since launching it, we've built 15 websites. We have 5 in the works right now as well. Actually, when Jarrett with PRP came on board, that was one of the first things we did together is we built them a new website. He worked closely with our web services team. He said that he enjoyed working with them and they did a really good job. And so we manage and host the PRP website.
I have seen the site and it did come out well. Jarrett, another friend of the show. I've always wanted to say that, right? Friend of my show.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
That's been very successful. And then the other program that we released was the warranty program. So we now have 9 warranty techs, ASC certified, and 3 assistants. So our warranty team, so if you want to not manage your claims inside, you can sign up for our program and we manage warranty claims for engines, transmissions, transfer cases, and assemblies. Shane Dockel is the warranty manager. And basically, what's really nice is through our software that we built, all we have to do is type in an invoice number or search for it, and you basically build a claim right off that invoice number. Grabs all the invoice details from their YMS, and then when they build the claim, they have the ability to log all of their calls that are going on. They can upload parts and videos that relate to the claim, any photos, and then inspections can be monitored. And then we also have like an audit tab where it keeps track of everything that goes on within the claim. So we've got, I'm trying to think, we've got 30 yards signed up, which equates to like 60 locations on our warranty program. So it's been really successful. And we recently just announced that if you have a warranty department that you're happy with the tech, but you want a better software instead of managing all of your warranty claims on an Excel spreadsheet, we do offer just the software only. So you don't have to use our full department. You can just do the software for your own recycling yard.
And we got a comment. Matt Hamlin came in and said he has many of his customers using the warranty program, and it's been a huge help with his eBay sales. So again, give them a call, get a demo, see what they're doing. But the software is very slick. So if you have an internal guy, that does all your warranty stuff, why not use that software? It just organizes it better and allows salespeople to go in and see where their warranty claim is going on, making sure the communication is going right with the customer and that kind of thing. Why not, let the experts, right? You got a problem with your feet, go to a foot doctor. You got a problem with the transmission, why aren't we going to someone that actually knows about all the updates and all the new things and all these programs? And these are some of the programs, again, that people just aren't sure, or they've heard a little bit about it. But again, and I'm sure that if you do call Kristi or her team, someone will say, hey, call so-and-so, they're using it. Or, Matt Hamlin's on here. I've never seen anybody who's on Facebook more than Matt. So all you need to do is go to Facebook and find Matt, and I'm sure he can give you some people that could give you, some references on how they use it and that kind of thing. I mean, Matt must have like a like button, like on his, I don't know how he likes so much stuff on Facebook.
I will tell you, he's the first one to comment pretty much on all of the forum posts.
I think he has like those glasses on where Facebook is in front of him all the time. So So warranty program, recalls, web service. And again, I'm going to add again in there is that not only can you go to their warranty program with their experts, but you could buy or purchase their software to use with yours if you want. Correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Next, what else we got? What's down the pipeline? It says on here on my cheat sheet.
Well, I will tell you, I'm working on a lot of different projects right now that I'm excited. Can't talk about all of them, but one that I just started working with is WHI. We are partnering up together. WHI, for those of you who don't know, is the
I
number
don't.
one. They're the number one automotive listing tool for eBay,
Okay.
and they list 20 plus million parts a day. And we are integrating with them to offer recyclers another alternative to listing parts on eBay through a different way. It's a way through what we did for mapping to ACES. So we feed data nightly to WHI, and they have a bulk listing tool that allows recyclers to edit in bulk before listing titles, anything regarding the part. And I'm piloting that currently with 3 yards. And we are going to be doing a couple sessions at the conference. So I invite you to attend those sessions. I'm going to be with Dave Young with WHI and Caleb Lindquist with Heritage. And we're going to talk about the product and demo the bulk listing tool. So it's
Awesome.
been really successful with our 3 pilot yards. We're adding a 4th here soon. So, and then with that WHI partnership, there's a lot of ability to work with them on their B2B side, which is a next part integration. And we're working very closely with them on being able to incorporate recycled parts in there. So that'll be coming down the pipeline really soon. I'm excited about it.
That's cool. And again, I want to make sure, and I just thought of something, so I'm going to put you on the spot.
Uh-oh.
But there's a ton of information right here, and there's a ton of this information that'll be at URG. And there are a lot of recyclers that are out there that are like, this stuff is way by me, and this is too much. And don't be afraid. The older I get, which is really old now, I'm not afraid to ask the dumb question. I'm okay being the guy. Like you said, WHI, and I said, I don't know what that means. I'm not going to sit here on this podcast and pretend, right? If I don't know something, I'm going to ask the question. And I really encourage more recyclers to do that. So I just had this brilliant idea if you're afraid to go to a URG conference because you're going to be intimidated, or you think these are a bunch of recyclers that are so far and above me that I'll be out of place. One, you're wrong. Two, those people want you to come so they can help you. So what I thought of was kind of a mentoring thing, whereas, hey, if you want to come to the conference, we're going to hook you up with someone that comes all the time that will show you around and that you can hang out with during the trade show, or go to some of the classes with that will introduce you to some people so you don't feel intimidated. Right. Because I've had people say that to me before, like, oh, I'm a checkmate yard. And I went there and I felt out of place and no one wanted. Well, again, you've got to be in front and you've got to put yourself and ask questions that some people aren't. So maybe they need kind of a buddy to take them around. So don't be intimidated by all this stuff that's going on. You should be diving in and asking the dumb question and saying, tell me more. Explain
Absolutely.
it to me.
There's never a dumb question. There's so much going on in the industry and so many new companies out there that give me a call. I'd be happy to help answer anything. If you want to get introduced to a bunch of yards, I'd be happy to do that. I know everyone's willing to help out at our conference, and you can learn so much from attending those sessions for sure.
Right. And if any of the customers that we have at Profit Team Consulting and we find anyone's software, not just the programs you have or something that maybe Chris Dadless has, or we're trying to point our people like, hey, we're not for all, we're for everyone and everything that's out there and what fits every person. We've got to try to fit what our customers or our people into that. But do not be afraid to go there and just talk to people. And that's like the big key thing for me is I've almost had, I was stuck in my recycling years. Not that I didn't travel when I was around, but I was an East Coast guy. And now that I'm more of a consultant and I'm consulting for people, not only, here now, and Profit Team Consulting with the help of Chris Douglas is moving to the UK.
Right.
I'm getting my eyes open to so many different yards, Kristi, in so many different ways and so many different things that I have a new kind of thought process to things, and I see so many people, and that's kind of why I wanted to bring it up. Is URG is a great place for that. Don't feel intimidated.
Yeah, and you
Um,
don't have to be a member to attend. So it's open to everybody, and it's not just geared to one YMS, it's all the yard management systems.
right. I think a
And
lot of people thought in the past, right? Oh, it's a Pinnacle thing, or no,
correct.
this is a recycling thing. This is a United Recyclers Group, right? This
Yep.
is, if you're a recycler, you are welcome. Now, do I think you should come and I think you should find out what the benefits of being a membership are? Absolutely, I think you should be. And everyone's is going to be as strong as the group that they're in and the people that they're surrounded by, be it whatever it may be. But I've always felt this was a good thing. We're
Yeah,
hitting
and
a half an
networking alone.
hour. Go ahead. Go
I was
ahead,
saying
Kristi.
networking alone, we have a bunch of different, meet and greets Thursday night, and then Friday's the main event. And that's where when I talk to recyclers, that's kind of their big thing is they've met so many people just being at those functions along with learning.
Absolutely.
So
Cahill's asking how many people are attending URG. You have some kind of guesstimate number that you think is attending.
well, right now, we have over 450 attendees, but what we're assuming and from talking to everyone is we're going to have a big push right before early bird registration ends at the end of this month. So I see that
Yeah,
growing tremendously. That's what it did at our last conference with the COVID restrictions and everything like that. So we've seen a huge influx of people registering now that the uh, ban was lifted. So
yep.
I see that
Awesome.
number growing quite a bit. And we have a lot of vendors that are attending as well, actually more than last year. So
That's great. So, Kristi, thank you so much for getting on.
very
I think
welcome.
that, hold on, I got to put my little thing up. I promise. Where are you? Here. Right. And there's Kristi's phone number, and that's her email. If anybody wants to reach out to her, find out about the programs, don't be afraid to ask. It's okay. And I look forward to seeing everyone that's going to watch here in New Orleans in a few weeks. Some of the people that may be on, I'll see in Toronto next weekend. I'll see Kristi in a few weeks. And thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you, Rob. I appreciate you having me. See you in a
All
couple
right.
weeks.
Take care.
All right.